understand that GiffyNet is a bunch of communities, not a single community, right? So if you go here, and that helps to understand the whole thing. I mean, there is many communities. For instance, when I'm Sebastian, just joined it. I'm from a rural area in 1,000 inhabitants. He is from an urban area 100 kilometers away, and they have their own website. So that helps to understand, which is with on wireless, right? So there is many communities, so it's not a single one. That's why it is what yesterday I was referring to the term with geolocalization. Everybody is working locally, and still able to cooperate. So they have their website and so on, and somehow tie it. We go back to the side. Here you will see that, and here is what we put all the things together. So people goes here, create their nodes through the maps or whatever, and here we have the statistics. And here it's online. It's just a query to the database and the nodes and which ones are working, which ones are just projected, the links, the distance that we are getting, and here the growth of the network. Right? So we go here, and we can see our maps. How is the network like? And this is the can drill down. Here is very much the Uzona region that I was referring yesterday. That is where we have the more dense, network. Those are the households and all the network. If I go and talking about, trying to continue some of the conversations that we had with some people here and try to show a bit on the tools, on the group of tools that help us to vertebrate all. It's the same idea of Wikipedia, right? I mean, people goes to the site, creates the things. I'm talking here, but in the meantime, what's happening through the network? And this is the more recent thing. So 30 minutes ago, somebody created a node here, and in Malaga, look, this is another part. So Pablo, Defied, so these are things that are happening through the network. That's the self-service component that people are building and incorporating the segments by their way. So they go through the maps in a region. Let's say, for instance, Uzona. I'm getting a map of Uzona, and then by just going through the maps, as soon as I have enough resolution, Google Maps is on the
Who's gaming, right?
Are you still hosting on a DSL line?
Yes. But a discount some minutes there. When the node is created, this is because of this keyboard, yeah. I'm using in Spanish. When you create a node, that is what I try to show you, just get this very simple form that every single user, even if it's knowledge or not, can fill where I am, whatever, so it gets a latitude, longitude. And then you get the page of the node. This is a node, right? Where it's placed, the people that get connected here, I choose just the one which is quite big. The traffic is there. Those two comes spontaneously because of the software that is sitting in the behind. And this, the minimum things that we need to provide that the network works on itself means where it is, what's happening here. It's telling us, the top 10 traffic regarding on the direction. I choose a node that has many connections, right? In purpose. Some of them maybe only have a single gateway. And then in that web page, how are the links, how reliable they are. In some cases, so when the people join to the forum and say, I'm having troubles, this one is working pretty good, and this one is just 75%. So by going here, I can find out maybe where the problem is and give him a. So this particular is just in building state, so maybe it's normal. Let's see what else. Still no traffic from them, so something wrong is on his SMTP information. And here it is the latency, which is very good, just in some cases. This is 24 hours. Okay, so it has only 75% because on Tuesday he switched off the device, so it's normal, right? So it's the kind of, yeah.
So when is this on?
Yeah.
Is that correct? You can hear me.
No. That's our. It was at the beginning was cacti, but we hacked it at the end. We dismissed the cacti. It's an MRTG, right? A plain MRTG and the graph servers that we are spread.
Normally, I think I'm going to ask this question for the room because this wasn't clear to me when I visited WiFiNet. So when I went there, you gave me instructions on how to get onto WiFiNet, right? And but I didn't have automatic access to the internet. That was something else.
Oh, yeah.
So this is really just a very gigantic LAN connecting all these nodes. All right. So a lot of people still think of a network meaning getting onto the internet and not necessarily doing something else. What are the people doing on here besides going to the internet?
Maybe what I missed to explain properly at that time, and it's shocking sometimes the users, and we want to change that. That's why we are getting connected to the interchange. We tell them, well, here it's contents of the networks, and from here there are many gateways to the internet. We don't rely on the protocol for getting out to the internet. Those are the proxies, so they have to find out which kind of gateway they're trying to use. And the free accesses to the internet are provided by the municipalities, libraries. When we are talking with the municipalities, we ask them to put those resources which are already there, use more efficiently, and this is free access for everybody. If somebody wants just an own access, they maybe can go to a regular ASP. But they get the access from there. At that point, it was configured manually. We have to improve that. In fact, we provide tools for the users to discover the services that they can provide. So if I go back to the node, and for instance, this radio, this is a radio. There is things like, oh, in order to get all the tools, you have to get a user ID. And because I was browsing anonymously, so I can see whatever is on the network. So as long as you get identified, you have more tools available. You can even edit the network and create nodes and so on, right? But from here, for instance, if I do trace route, I can discover services from this point. I want to access to the internet. So let's say through proxy and get. And now I'm going to get a map and see where they actually, which one is more close to me. Because sometimes the more close is not the one which works better or has more bandwidth. So we provide this kind of tools. This query is going to take a while because I did the query in a place that has with thousands of different possibilities to evaluate, so it could take 20 or 30 seconds. But in the meantime, I'm just showing you a small percentage of this kind of collaborative tools that we have to improve, and because this is my home, right? So if I'm at my home and once I have defined the things, this is in a rural area you see on the map. I want to see which is around close that very likely I can connect with. I have 4 connections right now, those are the green lines. And oops. Oh, because it's too much, I will stop the script. I already got the answer, so here is all the internet gateways that are from my home and how many hops I need to in order to reach them. And if I unfold this thing, that's what it will be, where it's going to go through and if they are working or not, right? So this kind of tools are the things that we provide. Or from here, I can see the line of sight to my neighborhood, if they have nodes working or not. And
It's fantastic.
or for instance, while doing this kind of one-shot links that you are planning in, if you go directly to here, and I I want to connect with France, then I will get another map. There is lots of funny gadgets, software gadgets that we can add by having tools like this. Right? That's how it's. Oh. Yeah, there's lots of things to show. I mean, and I wanted to stop because I mean, maybe you can continue finding some.
Right. Why don't we stop there, just give everyone a chance to speak. But you know, clearly this has got tons and tons of interesting components to it that you should grab Ramon